Saline Area Schools Evaluation Model for the 2013-14 school year. The administrative team has met multiple times throughout the summer to reflect on the teacher evaluation process from the previous school year. We felt the process was meaningful in a number of ways, including better conversations between administrators and teachers about best practice in the classroom, closer analysis of data to help drive instruction, collaboration amongst departments and grade levels to help each other with e-portfolio development, data analysis, and so forth. The process this year will look very similar. However, based on your feedback and our observations, we realize that there are a number of elements about the framework that we want to change. To provide greater consistency in delivering the message about these changes, we are collectively recording this Camtasia presentation. We do want all of you to know that we value the input that many of you have provided about this process and will work to continue to improve the process.
Clarification between an observation and a final evaluation. Observations take place informally and formally throughout the school year. The number will vary throughout the year, but we will provide at least 2, and preferably more. Observations are happening all the time, both in and out of the classroom. For example, if a staff member is observed throughout the year doing a very nice job collaborating with colleagues in a school improvement meeting and/or grade level or department meeting, an administrator could make notes of this and record that as an observation that will feed directly into the final evaluation. The final evaluation is an accumulation of all observations throughout the year. Information compiled in Domain 1 through 4 and ePortfolio documentation will be also included in the final evaluation.
With regard to the proficiency levels, on our final evaluation rubric, we will be utilizing the Danielson terms of unsatisfactory, basic, proficient, and distinguished. Only when we report to the state will we translate those terms to ineffective, minimally effective, effective, and highly effective.
The observation template includes all the information that we have connected to the final evaluation, but of course, during a 20 to 40 minute observation, it's not expected that every box would be checked off. This observation template is just a guide to the principal to make sure that those elements of domains 2 and 3 are on their mind and they're checking to see what elements were present just during the observation. Again, it certainly would not be expected that all these boxes would be checked off during a single observation. This year, there are also 2 rather major changes to the final evaluation template. The addition of Area 4F from Charlotte Danielson, entitled Showing Professionalism, has been included on this year's evaluation template. The second major change has to do with adjustments made to the ePortfolio rubric language. These adjustments were made to show a relatively smaller emphasis towards philosophy of education and resume, since these are elements that would stay relatively unchanged year to year, and to increase in emphasis on data analysis and instructional planning based upon the data that you have.
This section includes clarifications on domains 1 and 4 of the evaluation instrument. Last year, we began the year with the idea that we would implement an application process for a staff member if they wanted to be considered for highly effective status. After we received feedback from staff, we reflected on this and made an adjustment early on in the process to not use an application process. One thing we learned is that improving as both teacher and administrator involves a partnership or significant collaboration. It involves dialogue throughout the school year. The dialogue and conversations we had in the observable categories, domains 2 and 3, were valuable. It was more difficult, however, to score domains 1 and 4, or the domains that are not necessarily observable when in the classroom for an observation. We need assistance from the teaching staff when it comes to domains 1 and 4. We need the staff to help us know specifically what you are doing on all components of domains 1 and 4 so that we can have more data to make decisions about ratings within these two domains. Thus, administrators may be asking at various points for staff to turn in evidence or domain 1 and 4 evidence or engage in more discussions and conversation so they can establish a better picture of an educator's effectiveness in these two domains. In addition, you can use your ePortfolio to note evidence in domains 1 and 4.
We recognize that certain positions on our staff warrant a rubric that is more tailored to their specific duties and responsibilities. In 2012-13, we had specialized rubrics for speech and language, school psychologists, counselors, and social workers. In 2013-14, we are expanding the specialized rubrics to include an instructional specialist rubric to better meet the needs of the following positions: MTSS coordinators, young adult teachers, teacher consultants, some resource room teachers, and alternative high school teachers.
Important document that we will provide for all of you this year is the 2013 Danielson Framework. Inside this document, you'll be able to see specific critical attributes and examples of all elements within all 4 domains. And this is important because many of you last year expressed an interest in knowing more specific about what kinds of things make up highly effective or distinguished, and wanted to see specifically what kinds of examples Charlotte Danielson used for that. Let's look at domain 3 as an example. In particular, domain 3 and element C, engaging students in learning. If you look here under unsatisfactory level 1 and basic level 2, there are critical attributes which explain the basic components of being in those different levels, but it also provides examples of what you might see in classrooms if you were in those areas. It also does that same thing for proficient level 3, and in distinguished level 4, you can look at critical attributes and you can look at examples. And we think that's important because it gives our teaching staff and obviously our administrators examples of what we should all be looking for in those various domains and the elements.
We would like to clarify the administrative guidelines for scoring final evaluations. Each domain has several elements. There is an allowance for 1 deviation before moving to the next level. For example, a teacher can earn 1 proficient rating in a domain with all other elements being distinguished and still receive a distinguished rating for that domain. Another example is a teacher can receive 1 basic and the rest proficient or higher and still receive a proficient rating in that domain. For final ratings, a staff member does need to be distinguished in all 5 components.
All final evaluations will be released the week of June 9th, 2013. We understand that this is after the teaching staff is finished for the school year. However, we are trying to be consistent with the process and provide administration with ample time to complete all evaluations.
In order to improve the administrative effectiveness and develop a higher degree of inter-rater reliability within the framework, all administrators who will be observing staff members will be participating in ongoing professional development in all domains. That will include viewing practice teaching lessons as well as mock scoring exercises. Also, administrators will be working together to have more frequent discussions centered around all 4 of the domains and the ePortfolio. Further, we will be sharing some of these teaching videos and having dialogue with the staff throughout the year so all of us develop a greater understanding of how this framework is applied.
Again, our goal is to work together with all of you to keep improving this process. Please continue to provide feedback to any of the administrators throughout the course of the school year. Thank you.